You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Every time you get angry, sad, or anxious about something, you're choosing to feel that way. You just don't realize you're choosing. This sounds impossible. Emotions feel like they happen to you, not by you. Someone cuts you off in traffic, boom, you're angry. Your boss criticizes your work, instant anxiety. Your partner says something thoughtless, immediate hurt. But here's what will mess with your head. A Roman emperor figured out 2,000 years ago that all of this suffering is optional. And he proved it by staying mentally unbreakable while running an empire during plagues, wars, and constant political chaos. Marcus Aurelius discovered something that changes everything once you see it. External events don't create your emotions. Your interpretation of those events creates your emotions. The traffic doesn't make you angry. Your belief that traffic shouldn't exist makes you angry. Your boss doesn't create your anxiety. Your story about what criticism means makes you anxious. Your partner doesn't hurt your feelings. Your expectation of how they should behave hurts your feelings. And here's the kicker. You can change your interpretations, which means you can change your emotional experience of literally anything. Most people will never learn this because they're addicted to being emotional victims. It feels easier to blame circumstances than to take responsibility for your reactions. But once you understand how perception creates reality, you become emotionally unbreakable. Nothing can disturb your peace unless you give it permission. Part 2. The control addiction that's destroying your peace. You're suffering because you're trying to control things you can't control, and ignoring the one thing you can control completely. Let me guess what's stressing you out right now. Other people's behavior, the economy, politics, your past mistakes, future uncertainties, traffic, weather, social media comments, your boss's mood, whether people like you. Here's what Marcus Aurelius would tell you. You're wasting your mental energy trying to control things that are literally impossible to control. It's like getting upset that you can't fly by flapping your arms. Meanwhile, you're completely ignoring the one thing you have total control over: how you respond to what happens. This is what Stoics call the dichotomy of control. There are things you can control and things you can't control. Suffering comes from confusing the two. Things you cannot control: other people's actions, opinions, or emotions, past events or future outcomes, natural disasters, economic crashes, or global pandemics, whether you get sick, age, or die, what other people think about you. Things you can completely control: your thoughts about what happens, your emotional reactions to events, your decisions and actions. What you pay attention to, how you interpret situations. Most people spend 90% of their mental energy trying to control the first list and 10% working on the second list. Then they wonder why they feel powerless and constantly stressed. But here's what's really twisted. The more you try to control things you can't control, the more out of control you feel. The more you focus on what you can actually control, the more powerful you become. Traffic jams exist. People will disappoint you. Bad things will happen. You can get upset about this reality, or you can accept it and focus your energy on how you want to respond. One approach makes you a victim of circumstances. The other makes you the author of your experience. Guess which one feels better? Part 3. The reality resistance that's making you miserable. Most of your suffering comes from fighting reality instead of accepting it. And reality always wins these fights. You get upset when it rains because you wanted sunshine. You get frustrated when people act selfishly because you think they should be different. You feel anxious about getting older because you wish time would stop. But here's what Marcus Aurelius understood. Reality doesn't care about your preferences. Rain falls, people disappoint, time passes. Fighting these facts doesn't change them. It just makes you miserable while they happen. This is what Stoics call loving your fate. Not because everything that happens is good, but because everything that happens is real. And fighting reality is the most exhausting thing you can do. Think about your worst day this month. How much of your suffering came from the actual events, and how much came from your resistance to those events? Your flight got delayed. That's inconvenient. But the real suffering came from your story about how this ruined your trip. Someone criticized your work. That's information. But the emotional pain came from your belief that you shouldn't be criticized. The event happened for maybe an hour. Your resistance to the event probably lasted for days. Here's what's liberating about accepting reality. When you stop fighting what happened, you can focus your energy on what to do next. When you accept that people sometimes act badly, you can protect yourself without being surprised. When you accept that life includes problems, you can solve them without feeling victimized. Acceptance doesn't mean being passive or not trying to improve things. It means acknowledging what is before deciding what to do about it. The weather is what it is, but you can still bring an umbrella. People are who they are, but you can still set boundaries. Life includes suffering, but you can still work to reduce it. Fighting reality is like punching the ocean because you don't like waves. The ocean doesn't care and you just hurt your hand. Part 4. The story factory in your head. Your brain is constantly creating stories about what everything means. And those stories are destroying your peace more than the actual events ever could. Someone doesn't text you back immediately. Your brain creates a story. They're ignoring me. They don't care about me. I'm not important to them. Your boss schedules a meeting without explanation. Your brain creates a story. I'm in trouble. I'm going to get fired. My career is over. You see a successful person on social media. Your brain creates a story. I'm failing at life. Everyone else has it figured out. I'll never be good enough. None of these stories are facts. They're interpretations, and interpretations are choices. Marcus Aurelius practiced something that would seem weird today. He would deliberately reframe negative events in more neutral or even positive ways. Traffic jam? An opportunity to practice patience. Criticism, free feedback to improve my work. Rejection, information about compatibility. Failure, data for my next attempt. This isn't toxic positivity or denial. It's recognizing that since you're going to create a story anyway, you might as well create one that serves you instead of one that tortures you. The same event can be interpreted as evidence that life is unfair, or evidence that you're learning resilience, as proof that people are terrible, or proof that you need better boundaries, as confirmation that you're a failure, or information about what to try differently. Your brain will automatically choose the interpretation that confirms your existing beliefs about yourself and the world. If you believe life is hard and people are bad, you'll find evidence everywhere. If you believe challenges make you stronger and most people are doing their best, you'll find evidence for that too. Both perspectives will seem obviously true because your brain is incredibly good at finding what it's looking for. But only one perspective allows you to stay mentally healthy while dealing with whatever life throws at you. Part 5. The victim identity that's secretly addictive. Here's something nobody wants to admit. Being a victim feels good. And that's why people choose suffering even when they could choose peace. Victim identity gives you powerful psychological benefits. You get sympathy and attention from others. You don't have to take responsibility for improving your situation. You get to feel morally superior to whoever wronged you. You have an excuse for not pursuing difficult goals. You get to blame external forces for your problems. This is why people stay in victim mode even when they could easily choose different interpretations or responses. The emotional payoff of being wronged often feels better than the work of taking responsibility. Think about your friend who constantly complains about the same problems but never takes the obvious steps to solve them. They're not actually seeking solutions, They're seeking validation for their victimhood. Or think about yourself. How often do you vent about situations you could easily change? How often do you choose to stay upset about things that are over and done with? Marcus Aurelius was literally one of the most powerful people in human history. He could have blamed anyone for anything and had them executed. Instead, he spent his time writing about how to take responsibility for his own thoughts and reactions. Because he understood something that most people never learn. Taking responsibility for your emotional experience is the only path to real power. When you're a victim, you're powerless. Things happen to you, and all you can do is react and complain. When you take responsibility for your interpretations and responses, you become the author of your experience. This doesn't mean blaming yourself for bad things that happen. It means recognizing that how you respond to what happens is always your choice. Someone can hurt you, but you choose how long to stay hurt. Someone can disappoint you, but you choose whether to keep expecting different behavior. Life can knock you down, but you choose how quickly to get back up. Victim identity feels safe because it removes responsibility, but it also removes power. And power over your own mind is the only power that can never be taken away from you. Part 6. The emotional freedom technique that actually works. After decades of practicing Stoicism while running an empire, Marcus Aurelius developed techniques that can make you emotionally unbreakable, not by suppressing feelings, but by choosing them consciously. Here's the system that works, the pause protocol. When something triggers an emotional reaction, stop before responding. Ask yourself, is this emotion based on facts or stories? What story am I telling myself about what just happened? Most emotional suffering comes from stories, not facts. The control assessment. For any situation causing stress, ask, what parts of this can I control and what parts can't I control? Write them down. Stop thinking about the can't control list. Focus all your mental energy on the can control list. The interpretation choice. For every negative event, practice finding 3 different ways to interpret what happened. 1 victim interpretation, 1 neutral interpretation, and 1 growth interpretation. Choose the interpretation that serves your goals and mental health. The zoom out view. When something feels devastating, ask, will this matter in 10 years, 10 months, 10 days? Most things that feel huge in the moment become irrelevant quickly. Save your emotional energy for things that actually matter long term. The character building reframe. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, how is this helping me develop the character traits I want to have? Every challenge is an opportunity to practice patience, courage, wisdom, or resilience. The gratitude flip. For every complaint, find something related to be grateful for. Traffic means you have a car. Criticism means someone cares enough to give feedback. Problems mean you have a life complex enough to have problems. The death reminder. When petty annoyances feel important, remember that you and everyone you know will be dead in 100 years. This isn't morbid, it's perspective. What's worth getting upset about when life is this short and precious? None of these techniques require you to suppress emotions or pretend bad things are good. They just help you respond consciously instead of reacting automatically. The goal isn't to feel nothing. It's to feel what serves you instead of what destroys you. When you practice these consistently, something remarkable happens. You become unshakable. Not because your life gets easier, but because you get stronger. External events lose their power to control your internal state. You can stay calm during chaos, kind during conflict, and focused during confusion. This is what Marcus Aurelius called the citadel of the self, an inner fortress that nothing external can breach. Part 7. The Unbreakable Mind Blueprint. Marcus Aurelius faced plagues, wars, political chaos, and personal tragedies while running the Roman Empire. Yet his private journal shows a man committed to inner peace and wisdom rather than external control. His secret wasn't avoiding problems, it was building a mind that couldn't be broken by problems. Here's his blueprint for psychological unbreakability. Accept that problems are permanent. Life will always include difficulties, disappointments, and deaths. Planning for a problem-free future guarantees suffering when reality fails to cooperate. Plan for challenges and you'll be prepared instead of surprised. Focus on process, not outcomes. You can control your effort, preparation, and decisions. You cannot control results, other people's reactions, or external circumstances. Measure success by how well you play the game, not by whether you win. Practice negative visualization. Regularly imagine losing things you value, your health, relationships, possessions, abilities. This isn't pessimistic, it's preparatory. When you've mentally rehearsed loss, actual loss feels less devastating. Develop philosophical muscle. Just as physical exercise makes your body stronger, practicing Stoic principles makes your mind more resilient. Daily practice with small annoyances prepares you for major crises. This is exactly why we created Keys to the Psyche, to give you regular philosophical training that builds mental strength over time. Make sure you subscribe to get more insights and keys to unlocking your psychological potential. Remember your mortality. You have limited time and energy. Spend them on things that align with your values instead of reacting to whatever demands attention loudest. Death gives life urgency and meaning. Build character through obstacles. Every difficulty is an opportunity to practice virtue. Traffic teaches patience. Criticism teaches humility. Failure teaches resilience. Unfairness teaches justice. See problems as training, not punishment. Maintain perspective. You are one person on one planet in one solar system in one galaxy among billions. Your problems are real, but not cosmic. This humility is liberating, not depressing. Practice gratitude for what you can control. Most people take their controllable powers for granted. Thought, attention, decision-making, emotional response. These are extraordinary capabilities that give you dominion over your experience. The beautiful thing about this approach is that it works regardless of your circumstances. Rich or poor, healthy or sick, successful or struggling. You always have the power to choose your responses. External events will happen, people will disappoint you, plans will fail, health will decline. This is not pessimism, it's reality. But your peace of mind doesn't depend on preventing these things. It depends on building a mind strong enough to handle them with wisdom and grace. The Stoic Revolution. Marcus Aurelius discovered something that can change your life immediately. You are not at the mercy of your emotions. You are the author of your emotional experience. This means you can stop being controlled by circumstances and start controlling your response to circumstances. It means you can stop waiting for life to get easier and start getting stronger at handling whatever life brings. Most importantly, it means you can stop being a victim of your own thoughts and start being the director of your own mind. If this exploration has made you realize how much energy you've wasted fighting things you can't control, don't feel bad about it. Every moment of recognition is a moment you can start practicing differently. External events are external. Your peace is internal. And internal peace is always available to anyone willing to choose it. In the next video, we're exploring Kant's categorical imperative and why moral relativism is actually impossible. You'll discover how people who say, "do whatever feels right," accidentally prove that absolute moral laws exist. Subscribe now, because understanding the hidden moral laws operating in every decision might change how you see right and wrong forever. Your journey toward emotional freedom starts with recognizing that your suffering is optional. And once you see that choice, everything changes.